Hello guys, welcome back to 1878 Blues. This is the match preview for Brighton v Everton. Another cup final for Everton. Um, I mean, it's quite funny that I say cup final because I've barely seen us fucking reach a semi-final, never mind a cup final. But yeah, it feels like that, whatever that feels like. It just feels like a defeat here and wins elsewhere, or other clubs, winning their game, really puts us in a worrying position with 3 games to go. We've just got to keep our fingers crossed. It's out of our hands. For me to come here, before I start going on about what I think about the game and stuff, Brighton are one of the best clubs in the Premier League so far in terms of everything they do, how they run, how they've operated, from top to bottom, bringing players in and losing players as well, and still, improving after losing big name players. Over the past year or so, losing Graham Potter as well. A lot of people thought this is the end for Brighton now, and De Zerbi, or whatever his name is, has done an absolutely unbelievable job. They've become a real force in the Premier League. They are very strong all over, with a few world-class players coming in. They could be a real force in the Premier League, and listen, they could still make the Champions League. It's very much in their grasp. And they have a couple of games in hand to the other teams. So, listen, it's not going to be an easy game for Everton at all. And no game is easy for Everton Football Club. But I don't know why I've got a funny feeling about this game. Listen, I could sound stupid. Someone could clip this and we could be getting beat 7-0 on Monday night. But you just don't know. It's football, innit? Like, it's weird, but I always go into games hoping the other team has been winning games, or just at least won their recent game, because I feel every time a team loses, and especially a team flying like Brighton and have a massive aim to to qualify for the Champions League or just in Europe in general, a defeat in their game prior to us would be horrendous, because you couldn't see Brighton losing more than one game in a row at this moment of time, in this crucial stage of the season. So them to win 2 games in a bout, especially winning against Manchester United 1-0 right at the end, I was happy in a way. I was happy. I was like, right, they won 6-0 against Wolves, 1-0 at home. They got 3 home games in a row, which is something they're going to really want to take advantage of, even though the away form is fine as well. Hence, the position in the league. But yeah, it's the loss against Nottingham Forest was a fluke. Unfortunately, out of the past 3 games, Nottingham Forest is the only game I really cared about, because obviously they're in and around us. But it's what we do on the pitch matters. I know we're looking at other games. I'm obviously reacting and stressing about other matches with teams playing in and around us, hoping when these 2 teams who are in and around us playing against each other, I hope for a draw, because they might have a point gained and a point away, ahead of us in a sense. But 3 points for any team at the bottom now is very crucial, and we've got to do our job here. It's we've got one of a very hard running, you could say. But listen, if you want to stay in the Premier League, we've got to look at everyone and go, we can beat you on our day. Anyone can beat anyone in the Premier League, and we've got to keep that self-belief. We've proven beating the likes of Arsenal at home when Arsenal were in fine form. A very Sean Dyche performance. We've had other results, drawing a City away, Not many teams are taking points from there. And yeah, we've got to have that self-belief that we can do something about it. We have no right to think that we can beat Brighton, but we've got to, because if you don't have self-belief, then you might as well just not turn up to any of these remaining games. I don't really know. I would like him to set up similar to the Leicester game. Now, the only issue with the Leicester game is they're quite wide open at the back. They're still a very good football team, Leicester City, but defensively they can be all over the place and they can be quite open, and hence why that game was kind of perfect for us. And I think this is why I'm quite still gutted that we didn't take advantage of that, because I think they was there for the taking. Even though we could have been 3-1 down at one point, you've got to take the chances when when we get that bit of luck. And I think some of the chances we missed as well, which, yeah, we had a lot of chances, which I barely see Everton have in recent years in games. We normally struggle to get more than 12 in a match shots wise. We had 23 at Leicester, so Brighton's a completely different opposition. I'm not expecting 23 shots again against Brighton. I'm more expecting them to do that to us. I think it's a game we're going to have to hang on. We're going to have to battle hard, but set up similar way. Yeah, Onana coming back in for Ghana. I don't know. I thought Ghana was all right. I thought set pieces was horrendous. But I thought his overall play was pretty good. I think it's a different type of player. He had a lot more control, I felt like he had on the ball. But we'll have to see. Obviously Coleman's out. Hopefully it isn't his last game for Everton. And if it is, then I hope we stay up for him. So I would throw Patterson in straight away. Please do not even look at Godfrey or Holgate as an option. I actually think Godfrey's out anyway still. But yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin looked very good. And my hopes are on him. And my hopes are on our players to whip the ball in. At some point as well, it just makes me think, what happens if you had Andros Townsend as well? I know he's not a world beater, but he's a different type of player, and he can score them long range efforts. He played very well certain parts of last season. He's been a big player we've missed, experienced as well. So yeah, the players we've got, they've got to be whipping these balls in. I know Brighton have got a very tall defence and strong defence, like Lewis Dunk and Webster. But we've got to get past them. We've got to do something. We've got to hopefully find a weakness if they have any. Hopefully they have an off game. Like I said, the hope is they've won 2 in a row at home now, haven't conceded. Yes, I'm not going to say they're going to be cocky and be overconfident, but we could stun them. We could. I think they're going to have a tougher match than they did against Wolves. So I don't think it's going to be like that. Listen, they could absolutely hammer us, or we could win. I can't see it being a draw again. I think we're picking up too many draws. I think Dyche maybe might take a risk in the game and put some substitutions on earlier, like I think we should have done against Leicester. You might have thought this was working. It's only about time that we might score a goal. You never know. And he didn't want to change the squad. Maybe he just thought that was the right squad to attack Leicester in that game and keep them on. But yeah, we're gonna have to see how he's going to approach this. Like I said, I want the same squad again. But I'd like some substitutions if it's really needed. I don't want him to hang on for too long. I want him to be quite instant with his substitutions. I don't want him to drag it out to like the 80th minute and then it's desperation time and Brighton could just hit us on a counter if they win that game or draw in the game. But yeah, any other time I'll be happy this season to take a point at Brighton, but I'm desperate. A win is so needed right now. I can't even describe how much a win is needed. Yeah, we're just going to have to hope and pray, because I don't want this to go to the last game of the season. I might do anyway, but you never know with this Man City game as well after it. You just don't know. Yeah, I still don't think the title race is over. I think they're all making out now like City's won it. But listen, things can happen in the Premier League and Everton could upset City. Why not? But that's in hindsight though. That's not till next week. But yeah, this game against Brighton's absolutely massive, and it's only us who can do anything about it. And we've got to take a bit of hope that the last few away games we've done reasonably well to pick up some points. Chelsea, yes, I know these days you should be winning at Stamford Bridge, but still we picked up a point. With a ground that we have a horrible record at, and we picked a point at Leicester in a relegation tussle. We've picked a point at Crystal Palace, who were on a very, on 3 games in a row they've won. They're out of relegation now. They're not going to go down. They're playing very good football. Roy Hodgson's kind of spurring them on again. And we picked up a point there, and it's only us that can do it. But some of these players really need to step up. Some of the attacking players really need to step up. I hope Dominic Calvert-Lewin looks unbelievable again. Well, not unbelievable again. He just looked really refreshed and really at it in the game against Leicester, and that's all we can hope for. It gives me a slight bit of hope that we can get out of this. In a way, it'll crush me more if we're like so close to getting out of it, other than just withering away and just going down with 2 or 3 games to spare. It's going to break my heart even more if we're that close to doing it. And then you've got questions to ask if Dyche come in too late. Has Dyche made some errors while he's been here? And then you just go to the board. But that's all for another time. Let's just hope Everton can do something against Brighton. My predictions, I'm going to be ballsy as fuck. I'm going to be ballsy just because it just looks there that Brighton's going to hammer us. I'm going to say 1-0 Everton, and it's going to be the fucking most stressful game I've ever watched in my life. But yeah, no idea why I think that. If it's not 1-0, 2-1 to Everton. But I wouldn't be surprised if they battered us 7-0 because they're a very, very, very good footballing team at the moment. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, guys, if you can like, subscribe and comment. And yeah, I'll see you on Monday night with my reaction to the game. So yeah, let's hope and pray for a very good weekend of results. And let's just stick together at this moment of time. Peace out.